There was a study done that said that those that put their hand in the ice water and just like nothing could only hold it for a limited amount of time, but when they smiled purposely, that there was a connection in the brain that began to release a chemical that was helping them endure the pain.
Come on.
You see, church, let me just say something real quick. Hebrews chapter 12 as we close. It says, fixing our eyes on Jesus. Can someone say that? Fixing our eyes on Jesus, the pioneer and perfecter of faith. Listen, for the joy set before him, he endured the cross.
Amen.
Wait, hold on, wait. For the joy set before Jesus, he endured the cross. So you're telling me, Paul, that Jesus had joy before he went to the cross.
Amen.
You're telling me that Jesus said, I choose joy before the most difficult, the most heart-wrenching. I was sweating blood moments before this because I was scared. I was in the garden and I began to be so afraid of what was to come, but yet the joy that was set before me right before I went to the cross. You see, you want to give God your best, then you need to learn how to choose joy.
Amen.
You got to understand this, church. Some of you right now, you're in some really dark seasons of your life, and your hand is in the water, and it's cold, and it's dark, and it's hurting, and it's painful, and you're just like this. But this is what you're doing. You're saying, oh my gosh, I don't know how this is going to work out. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if we're going to last. I don't know what's going to take place. I don't know if my family's going to make it. I don't know if I'm going to make it. I don't know if I have enough money or if I'm going to be able to pay my bills. I just don't know.
Come on.
And you're saying, oh, I can't take it no more. Oh, I can't take it no more. But God is saying, no, no, no. Romans 8:28, that no matter what you go through in your life, I will work it out for your good, for those who are called according to my purpose and my will. So no. The joy of the Lord is my strength. So guess what? I choose joy. So when I am going through the season of loneliness and depression and heartache and brokenness and I'm lost and I have my hand in there, I say, oh yeah. This hurts, but man, God, you are good. Man, God, you are with me. Man, God, you are for me. Man, God, you're not against me, but man, you love me. And I know that no matter what I go through in my life, I can smile because I know that you are on my side. I know that what you set before me, that what is before me, whatever it is, I can walk through it. And even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil because you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me so I can keep my hand in because I'm not afraid because I choose joy. Joy chooses me and I choose joy and Jesus is on the inside of me. So I smile in the face of adversity. I smile in the face of the problem. I smile in the face of the pain. I smile because I know who's inside of me. Listen to me. And I am not afraid because God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. So guess what? I choose joy. I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to be depressed and anxious and worried. I'm not going to think about the future and the doom and gloom. I'm going to say, no, God, you are with me.
Amen. Come on.
And because you are with me, I can smile even though I don't want to smile. I don't want to smile. Oh, but I choose joy. But I choose joy. I choose joy. You cannot manufacture joy, but you can choose joy. Because God calls us to be present, to be there. You know what present? It means to be listening with intent. It means to be engaged. It means to be focused. To be focused, to look in your spouse's eyes when you're talking to each other. And I know that I fail at this at times, and I know sometimes I do really well at it. And to look at your friendships and relationships, and listen, you're so preoccupied with everything going on in this world, and you're so preoccupied with social media, and you're so preoccupied with your hobbies, and you're missing out on the opportunities when your brother or sister come to you and try to talk to you and tell you about what's going on in their life, and you have the answer. I just told Mackie in the hallway, I said, look, our light is not for ourselves. Our light is to be for others. So I can say, hey brother, look, I know you're in darkness. Let me show you where to go, because you're blinded right now in darkness by your own sin, by your own faults, by your own failures. You're struggling because you have not accepted Jesus into your life. You're struggling because you're not allowing God to direct your path. So my light is not just for me. My light is for others. But we're so preoccupied with everything else that we're not present in His presence for Him to allow us to be used by Him. And so we're looking at everything else and we're missing out on the grand scheme of life that God has given us. If we're gonna give God our best, we need to learn to be simple. Sounds easy, right?
Amen.
But how many of you are complicated at times? How many of you overthink? Okay, thank you. We're all on. How many of you, like myself at times, try to go to bed at night, but you can't shut the mind off because you're thinking about everything going on, right?
Amen.
So listen. So I've been thinking about this for the past 2 weeks. Last Sunday I got up and I was getting ready to come up here and minister. And guess what I did? I went to my closet. You want to know what I said? I have nothing to wear. And I'm looking at all 1,500 of my shirts, through all of them, and I'm thinking, I don't have anything to wear. Like, what am I going to wear? And I'm looking through it, and I feel like I wear the same thing all the time. That's just the way I feel. And I look through, and no, but you got to understand, I'm wasting my energy.
Yeah.
I'm wasting, you got to understand this. I'm wasting my effort on things that don't really matter. And let me tell you what Jesus, and then I was thinking like, God, how is this biblical? And Jesus said it.
Right.
He says, I tell you, do not worry about your life and what you will eat or drink. And don't worry about your body and what you will wear.
Right. Amen.
Isn't there more to life than eating? Aren't there more important things to the body than clothes? And I began to think more about it. And I said, wow. And then I was listening to, and then they were saying, I was like, okay, man, you ever look at some of the most, now, you got to understand, I'm not a big fan of the word like success. It's not but there's not another word that I figured out that I could use. But when you look at all the successful people, this is what I was reading and listening to. Do any of you remember who Steve Jobs was?
Yeah.
The CEO of Apple. Did any of you ever watch his presentations when he was releasing new products? Does anyone remember what he wore? Black turtleneck, blue jeans, and some tennis shoes. Did any of you ever notice that he wore that all the time? Mark Zuckerberg wears the same t-shirt and jeans all the time. And I was reading and they were saying they keep their life simple because they don't want to waste their decisions on things that don't really matter. Because you got to understand this. Come on, church.
Amen.
Because there are more important things throughout the day that need your time, your energy, and your effort. Like your family, like your marriage. Let me say this. Like your relationship with God. But we spend our time trying to figure out what we're going to eat. Man, I've done that. Sat in the car and be like rubbing my hands together, like, God, what am I going to have at the restaurant? And I'm just looking through the menu. Out of all 850 items on the menu, thinking, gosh, what do I want to have? What do I feel like having? What's it going to be? And I got up in the morning last Sunday and I said, what am I going to wear? And I was in the closet for 10 minutes staring, and I began to think to myself, why am I wasting all of my time, energy, on effort on things that because I could be spending it on things that really do matter. Like my life, like my emotion, like the mental, like me being, struggling with anxiety. I could be learning how to be calm and be peaceful. I've been doing just a tiny bit better of not looking at my phone at night before I go to bed because I don't want to wire my brain to be all doped up on dopamines.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking through and I'm learning how to respond and I'm trying to find things that are going to satisfy me and make me feel better about myself, but ultimately it doesn't work.